What's going on, guys? Today we are back, and today we are back at work on my burnt up 1989 Toyota pickup.
Brought to you in part by Overland Outfitters.
Now last week you guys saw me remove the engine from the engine bay and then strip down the engine. And recently it's been brought to my attention that apparently all this fire extinguisher chemicals are pretty corrosive. And at this point they've been on my truck for over a week. So today I'm going to tear out my interior and clean it up to stop the chemicals from doing any more damage on top of what the fire's already done. And for easier access, I'm going to start by removing the driver's side door, which in my truck is pretty easy to do because of the fiberglass fenders. You can see I can easily access all the bolts required to take the door off. So now that those 4 bolts are removed, as soon as I try to open the door, it's gonna fall. So let's take it off. Alright, I totally missed a step. There's a little pin in the door stop and it's still attached. So now I gotta awkwardly hold the door off and hammer the pin out at the same time. And here is the little pin I was talking about. It goes through here, attaching it to the actual body of the truck. Through this slot right here. Alright, now that the door is off, we can get a good look at what the inside looks like. And let me tell you, it ain't pretty. And here it is. As you can see, there's still some tools in here that I was using when it lit on fire. And under the dash, man, it just doesn't look good. But I mean, nothing a good parts truck cannot fix. Inside the cab is also my shifters for like the dual transfer cases. I think they'll clean up all right. Yeah, I think this stuff will be just fine. Yeah, that'll be good. And yeah, there's the carpet here. As I said, it was in the truck, but it was pulled back. So the fire didn't actually have a chance to travel from here back and lighting up the rest of the truck. And I mean, there's a lot of flammable diagrams and stuff in here. So I'm going to start off by just gutting the interior. I'm going to pull the carpet rate out, pull my sub out, pull everything that's just stored in here out, and then probably take my shop vac and try to clean up as much of this extinguisher crap as I can, although as I previously found out, it doesn't clean up very well. And yeah, we'll go from there. So it's actually cleaning up pretty decent. There was a whole bunch of like sound deadening stuff was really charred up. And the ash was like piled up behind here. So I smacked it with a hammer a few times and it broke free. This stuff is actually coming off somewhat easy, surprisingly. And to get this sound deadening off, normally you'd have to like beat it up into a bunch of little tiny pieces like that. So the plan is I am going to remove all of this factory sound deadening anyways and add some aftermarket stuff in there. And now that the floor is cleared on the really burnt side, let's move on to the part where it didn't really burn, the driver's side. Alright, now that the front floor compartments are mostly clear, it's time to gut everything from the rear. So I'm going to pull everything out, and then I'm going to pull the carpet out and do the same thing. Just clean this thing the absolute best I can, and then I can start ripping apart the dash. So now that the carpet is gutted, all that's left is to tackle the dashboard. And this is definitely what I'm looking forward to least, especially when I get to the passenger side. But really, there ain't much I can do but get her done. Alright, so I got the dash ripped out. All that's left is the dash bar, steering column, pedal assembly, and e-brake. But on this side, everything is gutted. And as you might have been able to tell by the time lapse, I wasn't actually being very careful ripping anything out at all. Most of it was absolutely junk and needs to be replaced, especially the engine harness. There is no point in trying to take it out nicely. So most of it got cut up as it came out, just to make it a little bit easier. But doing this has made the floors an absolute mess again. So, time for another round of the shop vac. And now that the pedal assembly out, next up is steering column. Didn't mean to drop that. So almost everything is now gutted from the dash. All that is left is the dash bar and the really crispy insulation behind it. So yeah, let's pull this dash bar, and I'm not excited to pull that insulation off the firewall. It is nasty. Alright, next up, I think I'm going to try to tackle this windshield. I'm not entirely sure how to actually remove a windshield, but it can't be that hard. There you go. That was very graceful. Throughout this video, I've been using these little tiny work lights to light up the area so I can see what I'm doing, especially under the dash. And these guys are awesome. I picked them up on Amazon, and I think they were only like 30 bucks for a 2-pack. They got 3 different modes: super bright, a dimmer light, and then a front light. They fold to whatever position you need them to, and they're magnetic. This is fiberglass. And they're magnetic. So that's pretty neat. If you guys are interested in picking some of these up, I'll leave a link in the description below. It's not sponsored or anything, but if you use my link, I do get a small commission, and I do actually really like these lights. Anyways, guys, that about wraps up this week's episode of Dirt Garage. I hope you enjoyed it. And before I let you go, I just want to leave a huge thank you to The Story Till Now and KC250. Last week, we did a special Flex Friday live charity live stream to get this thing back up and running, and we smashed our targeted goal and in fact exceeded it. And I could not thank you guys enough for donating. Seriously, this is gonna fast track this thing back to life. There was just not a chance of me being able to do this by myself in a reasonable timeline. Anyways, guys, if you like this stuff, please remember to give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and yeah. We'll see you next week. Peace.
I'ma make a couple stacks, do exactly what I want to. Mix a couple tracks, get a lady that I'm drawn to. Turn up to the max, get me faded till I'm gone, dude. I do what I want, couldn't stop me if you wanted to. I just work hard, yeah, harder than the rest. Some people say I'm lucky, others say I'm